Welcome to C-Suite Sherpas, where we shine a spotlight on business expert and resources that you should know. Our mission is to connect our listeners and viewers to the experts who will help you boost your personal and professional performance. And today, I'm really happy to have as a guest on our podcast today, Cerila Gailliard, who is the founder and CEO of Orchestrating Your Success. OYS allows customers to focus on their business while they ensure that your project progresses seamlessly and successfully. And we'll talk a lot more about how Cerila is actually able to do that. So, Cerila, I'm happy to have you today. And if you're ready, we'll jump right in.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron, for inviting me to your podcast. I'm super excited to talk about my business and how I can help other individuals or businesses with their projects.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, we're excited too. So I'll ask the first question and we'll take it from there. So if you could, can you give us a snapshot of what your business is and the major outcomes that you get for your clients?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. That's a good question. I am a project manager, certified project manager through the PMI, which is a Project Management Institute. I'm also a certified Scrum Master, and that has to really deal with agile methodology, agile, waterfall, hybrid. We do a little bit of everything. We really focus on project management. When people say project management, they sort of kind of have an idea of what we're doing. But let me just go ahead and define it. So let's define project. So a project is a unique goal to your business. It's temporary. It has a defined start date and a defined end date. So it does not go on forever, okay? So
Right.
what my business do is take that project and we start building and bring components into that project, like resources. Who's gonna do the work? What kind of time frame we're going to have? What are these tasks? What are these milestones? How we're going to manage, the stakeholders, who has a stake in this project in that particular company. And then we start building those components together into a plan. And then once the plan is done, then we start executing and implementing that particular project for, your business, depending on that goal that you want to complete. And usually the goals are go back to the strategic plan for your company, right? So most don't understand that these goals are coming down from the board or from the CEO on what they want to do for that particular year. And then we just manage it all the way through, and we ensure that those challenges that we all have, I always say there's no such thing as a perfect project, okay? Every project has its unique challenges. There is nothing to say, okay, if you do it this way, it's going to be seamless and going to be no issues and stuff like that. No. We take all of that together and we manage that project into completion.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. At my 30 plus years as an executive, I don't think there's any project that went exactly as was planned. You got to be ready for the curveballs, right?
Yes, it's just like a business, right? You start with one thing because this is the goal, this is how you're going, just like a project. This is what we're doing, this is the outcomes, and then we put all the pieces together, and then eventually it gets to where you want to go. It brings those results and the outcomes that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's what's intriguing about your background, being both a PMP, a certified project manager, and a Scrum Master, right? The fact that you can apply the agile kind of thinking and methodology to projects that you're managing, right?
Correct. So actually, my background is actually in information technology. Okay. That is actually my I love IT. So I came at a time, like I got my associate's degree about 1995. And that's where IT, computers, that was the big thing back then. Yeah. So I went into that direction and I was like, oh, I love it. I mean, I can go back and say, remember Lotus 123? Remember that? It was Excel, actually, right? WordPerfect. I came out of school with those type of applications, and I love to develop applications so that businesses can use and so they can help be more efficient in their processes. So how I got into project management is when I came here to Arizona and finished my degree in information technology. I took a class. It wasn't really into IT. It's called project management.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That really is where I need to be, because I understood that my skill set was more aligned to project management and not necessarily IT. So here's just some advice to those who are going through college. Understand what your skill set are, because that's going to really determine how successful you are, right? If you understand your skills and what you're good at, pursue that, understand that, because that's either going to help you run a successful business,
Yep.
or if you want to be a manager or director, that's going to really help you. And also you understand where your weaknesses are, right?
Right.
I might not be the part of it where it's creative, but I'm very organized and methodical about things that I do. That's just some advice out there. So yeah.
That's great.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely great advice. Yeah.
Because
So
someone told me.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. What services, what companies would you say your services or this approach works the best for? Are there any certain industries or types of companies or size of companies?
I would say project management you can do in all companies, even the small companies. They used to say, oh, we have a small project. Oh, okay. Well, those small projects, they're not small anymore. All these new projects that are coming out for companies are complex. They're not these small 1, 2, 3, and we can be done, right? They have some type of complexity, because now we're dealing with a lot of technology. We're dealing with global, right? Global businesses. So now you have these complexities that, there's not small anymore. So for me, I deal with small and large businesses.
Yeah.
Mostly I deal with working with CEOs and the directors, bringing those strategic goals that they want to accomplish for those companies and get them done. And mostly in compliance, right? You're seeing a lot of compliance projects coming through because, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. The government is saying this is what we need to do. The industry is doing this. Now I got to change. And now how do I do that to make sure that I'm being my compliance is where it needs to be for my company?
So what do you think sets your business apart from, say, others that may do similar things?
Yeah. So one thing, I work on projects. So there's project management consultants, right? They'll come in, they're doing assessment, and they'll tell you this is what you need to do.
Right.
I'm the type of person, I like to get my hands dirty. I like to get in there.
Yeah.
So we actually work on different projects. And as we're going through and working on your particular project, we're also training you. Right? Here is what the framework is that you have in your business, how to bring in projects. And I don't think people understand that it's so important to understand and have a framework to bring in these projects.
Right.
Because if you don't have the framework and you don't have the process to bring in these different projects, then you set yourself up for failure, or people are just going to do based on their experience, right? And we're like, well, this is what we're going to do. This is how I know how to do projects. And it may not be the best way to do projects in your business. So we understand, we come and look at it and be like, okay, this is a framework that you're working with. Here's some suggestions on how to create a more robust framework for you. And then let me train your people on some project management concepts and some templates, and understand what they're doing and how they're bringing in these different types of projects. And then understanding what methodology you're going to use.
Yeah.
There's waterfall, there's agile, there's this and that. I've been in companies where every department is doing different methodology. I was like, why is that? Why are you doing different methodology? Is it just because it's new? I remember when Agile came out, I was like, oh, Agile, everything's Agile now, right? And it's like, maybe that's not good for this particular department or for this particular company. Maybe you need to go back to doing waterfall. But now they have hybrids where some things are waterfall and then some things are agile, right? And for instance, I worked on a project where we were building an app but we also needed the training piece of it, and we need to build out the offices. So we use the building out of the offices and the training for waterfall, and then we developed the application and use Agile. So it was a hybrid kind of model that kind of worked for that particular project. But again, we still need to have a framework how to bring on these different projects if you want to be successful in getting those outcomes that you need for those particular goals.
Yeah, and it sounds like in that you really are hands-on and you guide people to maybe what the best approach might be given the project, right? Is that how I understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't try to disrupt a company because that can cost a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So we always go in and say, what do you have? Okay, so you have this, tweak this over here, maybe do some training over here, bring in some software to kind of help you with that project. And so that you have a more robust framework that is not costing you a lot of money, because there's still companies that don't believe in project management, right? They don't have project managers on staff, right? And it's like, oh, I just do it myself, right? And then they kind of get in trouble a little bit. But understanding that we don't go in there and we don't just kind of just tear everything apart, what you already have, and then we want you to improve on that so that when I leave, you have something there so that you can bring in these projects.
Yeah. So that makes me think, how is this field evolving, say, over the next 5 to 10 years, and how are you helping your clients stay ahead of the curve? And one thing that viewers are always interested in is how is AI affecting that as well?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up AI because AI is going to be the future. Now, what is AI really going to do for project management? It's going to get rid of all those manual processes, right? Like creating a project plan. AI is going to be able to do that. Okay. I mean, people are still using AI now to do their project setup, right? And say, hey, this is what I need to do. Here's the project. Here's the outcomes, blah, 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 blah. Put it in there and it's going to push out a project plan for you. Okay. Yeah. Also, taking notes, those wonderful notes when we get into the meetings, who taking notes, who get to send them out. That all can be pushed into AI now. Yeah. Right. You put it into AI and then you're just going to 5 minutes notes, push it out, right? So it's going to get rid of all of those manual processes. And we're going to be really just talking about strategic planning, these strategic goals. Where do they fit inside the company? When do we do it? So more on that side, where AI is really going to play a role in get rid of those manual processes. And then we're going to do more of the critical thinking, strategic plans and stuff like that on that side. So that's where I see us going, and how AI is really going to redefine that as well. And it's just a tool, right? You still be surprised that companies are still doing project management with spreadsheets. And they're $8 million company. It's like, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of it because data is king. Yeah. And if you cannot pull data and understand what type of projects that you are bringing in and understand the gaps and understand the opportunities that may come your way for the client, then you're kind of lost, right? Mm-hmm. And data helps you make better decisions, help the project estimate better. So estimating projects become. Yeah. So if you're doing the same type of project month after month, you should be able to say, okay, these type of projects are going to cost me $100,000 expenses. Why do I know that? Because I'm doing the same thing and I'm pulling data to see what we're doing and what our expenses are and what our tasks are. And so then I can pull and become better estimators on the expenses and having a better project.
Yeah, that's great insight, by the way. I think you're right on the AI and how that's going to really augment or help people do their jobs better. And I think that's right on. So I'm going to change up the questioning here a little bit. Let's do a lightning round. And the intent here is for our viewers to get to know you a little bit personally, right? So nothing too personal though, but so we'll go with the questions if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. Cats or dogs?
Neither.
Okay. I haven't had that answer yet. That's a good one. Favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
I got a new quote, and this is from Jeff Benzo, and it says, "You need to be stubborn on your vision, but flexible on the details." So that's my new phrase from Jeff, because my company is going through some changes and some pivoting. So I
Yeah,
was like, okay, that's my phrase to go to.
it's a good one. Favorite movie or streaming series?
Oh, I'm a Supernatural fan. I don't know if you guys, it's some CW, and that is my favorite. I can watch that all day long and then watch it again.
Awesome. How about your favorite book?
Hmm. Favorite book. When the last time I'm reading a book, and I'm like, let me see. I like fiction. Let's put it that way. I like fiction. I like to figure things out. But like, okay,
Yeah.
so what happened? I like to get in there and like see the characters and trying to figure it out at the end. I would say my favorite author. I'm a fiction fan.
Awesome. All right, last question, two-part question. So, one bucket list item that you've already accomplished and one bucket list item that you haven't accomplished yet.
Okay, so in 2023, I actually went to Egypt and I spent about 14 days there. So, yes, that's on the bucket list. I can cross that out. If anyone get a chance to go to Egypt, I would say go see those pyramids.
Yeah,
I mean, when I was there, I was just like, wow.
that
I
is
still can't believe I was actually standing next to the pyramid. I actually went up in one of them as well, but those statues, those pyramids, just awesome.
that is
And then
cool.
let's see, other bucket list is to go to either China or Greece. So I'll
Okay,
probably be heading to one of those places next year.
awesome. I can, if you need tips on China, I used to live there. I can give
Oh,
you tips
okay.
on China.
You
All
know
right.
what? I wanted to go to China and during when 9/11 hit.
Yeah,
I was gonna go, I was planning it, and then 9/11 hit. There you go.
yeah. And it turned out all of our lives upside down at that time, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So, Saria, the most important question is if our viewers would like to get a hold of you and collaborate with you, what's the best way to get in touch?
Go to my website at oysllc.com and you can schedule an appointment with me. And I would love to sit down and just kind of talk about some of your biggest problems. We always we kind of go straight to like, okay, what projects you got? And da 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 da. I want to know a little bit, what are you struggling with?
Yeah,
What are you trying to accomplish? And then after that, let me see how I can help you. Or if I can't help you, let me see where I got referrals and people I know that can help you. And so that's how our approach thing is. What is that thing that keeping you up at night?
yeah.
We all got, I'm telling you, every business got something that's keeping them up at night. So
Oh,
let's talk about
absolutely.
it. Let's see how I can help you.
That is great. Okay, so Saria, thank you. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for your time. It's been interesting, and hopefully our viewers got something from it. And thank you.
Thank you, Ron.